All right, another video of stocks that I'm looking at to add to my list of tickers that I'm considering using to sell options on cash secured puts and cover calls. Today I'm looking at Affirm. So Affirm is a fintech company that offers point of sale, buy now, pay later financing to consumers and merchants online and in stores. I've actually seen this online. So it partners with retailers and integrates into checkout experiences, allowing customers to pay over time. So it's a finance company, probably high interest rates, I suppose. So it is what it is. I've never used it. I don't finance anything anymore. That's the fun of selling cash secured puts. You can afford to pay cash. So enough about what we're looking at. So what I do a quick look, high level look at these companies to see if I want to add to my list of tickers that I might consider using for cash secured puts and cover calls. It's not a deep dive, but it's enough to allow me to decide if I want to watch it or not. And before I do use these, I do a little deeper dive and watch it for quite a while and think about it and all this other kind of good stuff. So this is one I've been kind of watching for a while. And then somebody has been mentioning it a couple times on comments on YouTube videos, and I've been seeing other people sell options. So I thought I'd be interested. So I start watching it a while back. And this is not a trade alert at all. Right here, not a trade alert. And talking about trade alerts, this is also not financial advice. It's just me thinking out loud, entertaining people on YouTube who are interested. And if you are entertained, you might want to consider subscribing and do all these other fun things. So basically what I do, I look at the business stability, revenue, earnings. Is it an established company? Am I okay owning these shares? That's the most important thing. And then I look to see what the analysts are thinking. Are they buying or recommending buys? Are they recommending holding? Are there any major downgrades? Is there collapsing targets as far as price is concerned? Are there any other red flags? And then we look at the option chain to see if there's enough interest to actually trade options. You can't trade options if there's not people trading options. Usually I look at that first when I'm off camera, but because if nobody's trading options, there's no sense of looking at this other stuff. So let's jump into Yahoo Finance and take a look. Okay, so the first thing I want to look at is just take a glance at the chart here and see what it's been doing lately. So this is the 6-month chart, and 20-day moving average. Just look at that. It's been around 67 6 months ago, and it went up around 85 and down here around 68 and then up to 75. Look at the 1-year chart. You can see that it had this nice steady incline here. Then we had this dip middle of October. It's been kind of going up and down, kind of sideways. I like looking to see what the lows have been recently, like 62, then 65. So just give me a kind of a glance at the chart here. Let's look at the analysis here. So I just look at a few things here. So I want to look see if the earnings have been hit for the past few years or quarters. And you can see about a year ago, it exceeded earnings, and then it missed earnings, and it exceeded, and then it missed, but it only missed by a penny. So I'll give them a break on this one. So earnings are going to be in a few weeks on September 5th, and it's estimated to be 84 cents. So that's interesting. So let's look at the annual revenue and earnings. So the revenue has been growing each year since 2022, 23, 24, and a year ago, 25. The earnings were in the minus, which is never a good thing, but 2025, it's in the positive. So if I look at quarterly here, you can see that the revenue is basically growing, had a dip second quarter. Earnings also dipped, but then they've been climbing the last couple quarters. So not great, but okay. If things were always great, then there probably wouldn't be a lot of premium for the option trading. So there's a trade-off there. So let's see what the analysts are saying, the experts, the people smarter than me. So the recommendations we have, it looks like maybe 1 or 2 strong buys. Actually, if I do some math here, I wish they listed each, but 17 plus 8 is 25. There's 28 total ratings. So there must be 2. It's like a word problem for elementary kids. I actually substitute teach. I'm retired. I was a teacher for high school for several years. And then I retired, and I've been subbing at the elementary school that I attended as a kid over 50 years ago. So isn't that cool? So I go back and I sub maybe, I won't say 1 time a week, but maybe 3 times a month. We travel a lot, so when I'm back in town, if they need a sub, and they always need subs, they're desperate. So it doesn't pay anything. What's funny, I'll make more in seconds trading a cash secured put than when I make a whole month or 2 months, maybe the whole year of subbing. But it's fun. It gets me out of the house. And I do that in the cold months here in Illinois. But enough about that. But this would make a great story problem for 5th grade math. So the story problem would be you have 28 analysts, 17 rates at a buy, 8 rates it a hold, 1 rates it a sell. How many analysts rate it as a strong buy? And then little Johnny will say 2. So that's the answer. Sorry for wasting everybody's time on that, but I thought that was kind of neat. So I'm okay with this, and I'd like to know why this one analyst, what they're thinking about a sell. I guess I could look that up. But the other thing I like to look at is the price target. You see the current price 72, but the price target is 92. Now, I try to find, when is this price target, like what is the date on that? Is it like 1 year? There's really not a date, but I think 1 year would be a good guess. And if I was to get assigned something in the 70s, I would be okay with that. So what I mean okay with that, me personally, if I were to buy 100 shares of Affirm, $7,000, or yeah, let's say 7,000, and have to hold it for 2, 3, or 4 months for the price to bounce back up, right? Cover calls on the way back up, I would be fine if all these experts think the price target is like at 92. Okay, now let's look at the option chain. I already have that open, as you can see. Put the ticker in here, and let's look at puts. And just for entertainment, they do have weekly options, so that tells you there's quite a bit of activity. If there's enough activity to have weekly options, then you know there's probably good amount of volume and open interest. Now, something to be aware of, there's earnings here, February 6th. I think I already mentioned that. So we're looking at the February 20th here for monthly options. That's what I kind of like to look at. And if the current price is around 72, I'm going to look at cash secured puts around 70 to 65. If I scroll down, so February 20th, so 65, the delta around 0.27. There's a lot of open interest. I like this to be 500 minimum. And even if I went down to 60 with a 0.17 delta, a lot of interest there, or 62.50 here, strike price over 1,000. So there's a lot of action there. Let's look at the 20th of March just to satisfy my curiosity. Yeah, there's a lot of option action with these. So definitely hits that check mark. So yeah, this would be something I'd be interested in. And if I jump over here to where I was looking at my checklist, I would put green checks on everything. I'd be okay probably owning Affirm for a short while it bounces back. And if I were to get assigned any shares, and I didn't really see any red flags, I didn't see where any analysts are freaking out. And the option liquidity is all check marks. There's a lot of action going on there. So yeah, I'm okay with this. In fact, I'm so okay with this that earlier today I did sell 2 cash secured puts on it. And I figured since I was selling cash secured puts, I'd go ahead and do this video today. It was on my list of videos to do for this. I decided to move it to the top list since everything was fresh in my mind. So if you like this type of thing, go ahead and subscribe and keep your eyes open for more videos on stocks that I might add to my cash secured put and cover call ticker list.